It is also a guide about H-WFF-SIS division.
The Bureau's history can be traced as far back as the Spanish era. During the 17th and 18th centuries, taxes that were collected varied from tribute or head tax of 1 gold maze annually, tax on value of jewelries and golden trinkets, indirect taxes on tobacco, as well as wine monopoly, cockpits, burlas, and powder. These were all facilitated by the Contador de Resultas, or the Chief Royal Accountant, whose powers and duties were similar to that of what we know today as the Commissioner of Internal Revenue. It wasn't until during the American regime when the Bureau of Internal Revenue was formally organized and began its operations on August 1, 1904. The first organization started with 69 employees. It was under the Secretary of Finance, Henry Ide, the author of the Internal Revenue Law of 1904, with John S. Horde as the first collector, or the Commissioner. Following the tenure of John S. Horde were 3 more American collectors. They were all appointed by the Governor-General with the approval of the Philippine Commission and the U.S. President. Filipino collectors eventually joined the ranks when former U.S. President William McKinley committed to the Filipinization policy. The first 3 BIR collectors were Wenceslao Trinidad, Juan Posadas Jr., and Alfredo Yatao. At the outbreak of World War II, under the Japanese regime, from 1942 to 1945, the Bureau was combined with the Customs Office. On July 4, 1946, when the Philippines gained its independence from the United States, the Bureau was eventually re-established separately. On October 23, 1947, the Bureau divided the country to 31 inspection units, each of which was under a provincial revenue agent, except in certain special units which were headed by a city revenue agent or supervisors for distilleries and tobacco factories. On the latter part of January 1951, the implementation of the withholding tax system was adopted. This method of collecting income tax resulted to the collection of approximately 25% of the total income tax collected during the said period. As an initial step towards decentralization, the Bureau created its first 2 regional offices in Cebu and in Davao on July 20, 1955. Each regional office was headed by a regional director. The creation of the regional offices marked the division of the Philippine Islands into 3 revenue regions. Implementation of various programs and projects also continued on in the tax administrations. Most of the notable programs implemented throughout the years include the Blue Master Program, Voluntary Tax Compliance Program, Operation Walang Lagay, the adoption of Value-Added Tax, or VAT, the use of the Taxpayer's Identification Number, or TIN, the Tax Computerization Project, or TCP, of 1994, the establishment of the Large Taxpayers Monitoring System, which was eventually named as the Large Taxpayers Service, or LTS, the implementation of a full integrated tax system, or ITS, Rollout Acceleration Program in 2001, the Electronic Filing and Payment System, or EFPS, the Oplan Candado Operations, the Run After Tax Evaders Program, and many more. Throughout the years, the Bureau has undergone many changes in its organizational structure. Revenue offices were created, abolished, merged with other offices, split into different offices, and other significant changes. From having 8 divisions in 1913, the Bureau now has several revenue groups: Revenue Services, Revenue Data Centers, Revenue Regional Offices, and Revenue District Offices nationwide. Currently, the Office of the Commissioner of Internal Revenue oversees the planning and management, project management and implementation, and the large taxpayer services. Also working with the Commissioner are 4 groups, each led by the Deputy Commissioners. The Operations Group handles client support, assessment, collection, including revenue regional offices and their respective revenue district offices. The legal group, on the other hand, is in charge of legal, internal affairs, and enforcement and advocacy. The Information Systems Group takes care of the operation, management, and development of information systems, and supervises the 5 revenue data centers. Lastly, the Resource Management Group oversees human resource, finance, and administration. BIR's long history of organizational changes, implementing several programs, and constantly improving itself shows its steadfast commitment to providing effective tax administration rooted in its guiding principle: service excellence with integrity and professionalism. To know more about the Bureau, visit our website at www.bir.gov.ph. You may also follow us on Facebook and Twitter at BIRGovPH and subscribe to our YouTube channel, BIRGovPHL.